no, I am not in my dressing gown today. I'm slightly more well prepared for what could be the final episode of the LOC Report of the season. We have reached the final week of the season. It's been a long old year. I'm looking forward to some holiday, but we're going to have a good episode, a good final week of the year. I hope you all enjoy it. We've got a good one today as well. We're going to talk to you about the actual playoffs. So obviously we had 2 matchups going on last week. We now have 2 finalists confirmed to battle it out. Based on the name of the episode, you can probably guess who they are. We have another forfeit playoff team. We're also going to have the forfeit playoff updates, 2-week-long matchups. So we're going to have some interesting updates there. We're also got our award nominees. The awards will be announced on Corona Bowl Saturday, but we'll talk to you a bit about the nominees because Blogger decided to delete my article. Instead of undoing what I just wrote, just decided to undo the whole thing, and there's no way to recover it, which is super helpful. Thanks a lot, Blogger. Didn't want my lunch breaks that I'd spent 2 days using to write the article, so really appreciate that. Anyway, we'll just jump straight into it with the league news. I'm not going to bore you to death with the injuries in the league news this week. It's the final week. It feels like every Wednesday the league news I give you is fairly limited anyway, so I'll just give you a few waivers. Most of them are ADRZ. Gridiron Gang added the Giants, dropped the Falcons D. Then Necessities added Rashad Jennings and dropped Chris Ivory. Then ADRZ added Darren Sproles, Robert Turbin, Cameron Meredith and Charles Clay, and dropped Chris Ivory, Dwayne Washington, Joe Flacco, Devontae Booker, Corey Coleman and Vernon Davis. You'll notice I listed more drops than adds there. It's because he added Booker and then dropped him straight away. But hey ho. So that's your waivers. Some news. As I said, we've got the award nominees on Saturday. We've got an event in mind on Saturday. If you can make it to the Corona Bowl, that would be great. And I'm not recording on this either because as I said, I'm really organised today. Name alone. Sans dressing gown alone, to be honest. The Corona Bowl event is on Saturday. We also obviously have a new way of deciding the draft format. I haven't made any announcements on this. We all know the format. It's randomly pick out a hat, but in terms of date, it's yet to be set. I'm thinking we'll probably do that about the actual NFL draft, during the NFL draft, something like that. It's a nice period between the end of the season and the start of a new one. I don't really want to do it right at the end of the season and any time in between. It's a bit of a dead period, so that period I think is good. So we'll announce the order. We'll probably live stream that too, as well as the awards on Saturday. So look out for that. I'm not going to delay any further. I'm not going to have a long episode today. It's really just an update episode. Like I said, might be the last one of the year. We might try and get one in next week just to review everything and do a nice, put a bow on the season. We'll just get straight to the forfeit playoff matchups then. We'll start off with the Special Brew Bowl, the much loved Special Brew Bowl. As we know, this is the Losers Bowl. So whoever loses this game does lose the league, and obviously the forfeit in this one, it's the games between Ollie and Phil. Talkfards Bedadnators. The forfeit in this one is if Phil loses, Ollie changes his team name to the Tankfards. To Tank Him a Tank Face. And if Phil wins, he gets to change Ollie's logo to a whatever he wants, basically permanently. So this matchup currently it's sitting at 128 to 83 in favour of Bedadnators, so a pretty sizable lead there. Looking at that, who was responsible for that lead? We had Matt Ryan, 23. Montgomery got 28. Wow. Beckham got 13. Matthews got 21. Solid performances there. Not a bad week from Phil, but he's considerably behind right now. He'll have to outscore Bedadnators by about 45 points. Otherwise, his team will be tanking McTankface next season. And I can't say that without laughing, so that'll be a fun podcast next year. And obviously, consequentially, Phil will probably lose the league as well. But he'll get to name the bowl game next year, so that'll be an interesting one. In the other matchup, it's decidedly closer. Forge Flyers v Tom's Tyrants. We still have not had the forfeit in for this one, so cheers for that when that comes in. 85-83, it's tight. Andrew Luck got 22. Dean Lewis got 10. Mark Miller got 14. Deshaun Jackson 11. Will Lutz 12 for Tom's Tyrants. Forge Flyers side of the ball, Murray got 14. Nelson got 12. Michael Thomas 11. The Patriots got 18. So this one will be a real one to look out for. Still a close one, could go either way. This is the Super Bowl. Everyone loves the Super Bowl. Next game we have Gridiron Gang against the Brady Bunch in the Fish Bowl. Once again, Gridiron Gang repping the Fish Bowl, I believe. Last week, this was, sorry, all of my things have shifted on this week, 99-84 in favour of Gridiron Gang. So Gridiron Gang holding about a 15-point lead right now. They had David Johnson with 23, Jordan Howard with 17, Vinatierian, the Falcons, got 12 apiece. On the other side of the ball, Brady only got 7.5 last week, not a great week. Sterling Shepard got 11, Blau Powell got 16, Tucker 11, Seahawks 18. Special teams really keeping Ross in it, so still a relatively close one, all to play for in that one still. In the Fruit Bowl, which is the 5th v 6, Cash v Gold v Bare Necessities. Boy, this is a bit of a split. 112 to 79, 113 to 79 in favour of Bare Necessities right now. Bare Necessities, Eli Manning got 20, Bell got 13, Brandon Cooks got 30, and Dan Bailey and Texans D got 14 apiece. On the other side of the ball, Rogers got 12, Ellie got 25, but no one else got over 10, so not looking good for Ollie in the Fruit Bowl. However, the forfeit in this one is you say well done to your winning opponent, so not really the biggest forfeit there, if we're honest. Moving to the playoffs now, so we'll look at last week's playoff games naturally first. So we had Pakistan take on Iknan. Entering this one all time, Iknan were 1-2 against Pakistan. Pakistan obviously coming in 9-5, Iknan 8-6, riding a 5-game win streak. Meanwhile, Pakistan have caught up a bit in December. They were without Melvin Gordon, the superstar running back, and they lost it 82 to 107. Real tough game for Pakistan. They've had such a good season. It's a shame they've called down when they have. But Iknan were the better team. Wilson got 26, Gore got 11, LaShawn McCoy got 29, Gaskowski got 10. Just a solid week. Meanwhile, Pakistan, Phil Rivers got 18, Stewart got 14, Gabriel got 12. Great play there. Billsy got 13, but not much else behind that. So it's a sad end for Pakistan, but they've had a great season, nothing to be ashamed of. They were nominated for a few awards, so it's a good season all round. Iknan, however, they get a shot at the Corona Bowl for the second year going. Well done to them. They've been really hot the past couple of months. And they have a chance to play ADRZ, who are playing the Dream Team in the other playoff game. They face off against the Dream Team, which is a rematch of the first round playoff for them last year. Really interesting that. So ADRZ obviously trying to defend the championship. Quite a few teams have tried before, all have failed. The Dream Team, on the other hand, they want to get back to the Corona Bowl. They were there at Corona Bowl 6. They lost out in the playoffs, as I said, last year. Entering this game, ADRZ was 6-3 against the Dream Team all time, so not in the Dream Team's favour. And that trend continued. ADRZ took it 110-84. Tyra Taylor with 18, Devontae Freeman with 32, Tyreek Hill with 13, Dolphins 24. Great day. Meanwhile, Dream Team, just a sad week, unfortunately. Drew Brees got 37. Matt Bryant got 13, and no one else got over 10. Had a big fat 0 from Adam Thielen, who I believe had an injury. Real shame for the Dream Team. They've been a really good team, but they have had a few of these 80 weeks along the way. Another sad end to an otherwise good season. Meanwhile, ADRZ somewhat fortunate at times. They've had some very good weeks to their credit. They roll on to the Corona Bowl for the second straight year, a chance to defend the title, and they face the team they beat last year, the first time that's ever happened, aaaaand. So that's going to be a good game. Looking at next week's matchups, so we're flooding between real playoffs and non-playoffs here. Excuse me. Pakistan take on the Dream Team in the Kumar Bowl. So this game's obviously just been set up. They've got to arrange their forfeits for Sunday's game. History of this matchup: Pakistan 0-2 against the Dream Team all time. So could be a tough end of the season for Pakistan. Projections are currently 96 to 74. As I said, these guys have got to agree on their forfeits. So that'll be a good game. And then when we get to the actual Corona Bowl, as I said, we're back in 2015. It's Corona Bowl 7 rematch in Corona Bowl 8. aaaaand take on aaaaand. It's a good game, just as good as last year, really. Both teams 8-6, similar projections 86 to 81. It's going to be an interesting game by all accounts. aaaaand they are scraping the barrel at this point of the season. They're really looking for options all over the place. They've got Tyler Taylor at quarterback against Miami, Robert Turbin against Oakland. They've got Devontae Freeman against Carolina. It's not great. Kenny Britt against San Francisco. He's been a regular for them lately. Cameron Meredith comes into the starting lineup against Washington. Charles Clay plays Miami. Demaryius Thomas plays Kansas City. It's not the best of matchups either. On the other side of the ball, aaaaand, they've got Russell Wilson against Arizona. That's not great. Blunt against the Jets. That's not great. Gore against Oakland. Garcon against Chicago. Fitzgerald against Seattle. Cubby Fleener against Tampa Bay. Sean McCoy against Miami. Panthers against Atlanta. There are some ugly matchups on both sides here. This could be a gritty Corona Bowl. Maybe not one of the best we've seen. aaaaand out to reclaim it. aaaaand looking to get vengeance on last year and win their first. I think the whole league is behind aaaaand. The league does not want to see aaaaand be the only team to win 2 in a row. And really, I think aaaaand will win it. The matchups are pretty equally bad on both sides, but they've got the talent. As I said, aaaaand are really scraping the bottom of the barrel at the moment. Taylor, Turbin, Meredith, Clay, Britt, these are not guys you want to see starting for you. They might get AJ Green back in the lineup. They might put Theo Riddick in and Jordan Reed back in, Tyreek Hill. I don't know, but right now it's not looking good for aaaaand. So I think aaaaand could take it. That is your update. I said it was going to be a short one. We'll just do the nominees since the article got deleted. I'll just read them out now for you. So we have Coach of the Year. Pat Allen is up for Coach of the Year with Pakistan. As I said, tremendous year. He was the regular season champion, had that great streak of 8 wins. He's had an absolutely terrific year. Even in those 4 losses to the start of the season, he had very good weeks. So he's definitely a strong candidate for Coach of the Year. Myself, Coach Subs Jr., highest scoring team. I made some really good plays. I obviously went through that stretch. I think it was 9 games where I never did below 90 points. And on the course of the year, highest scoring team. When I lost, it was pretty much only against teams that just outscored me. So I'm up for another Coach of the Year. My breakdown was 98 and 56. So if I was playing everyone each week, my total would have been 98 and 56, which is best in the league. And my coach rating wasn't too bad either. Who else have we got? I believe we got Coach Nathwani, who's in much a similar boat. He's had a really good season from start to finish, even though that's not necessarily reflected in the win column. 1,410 points, which I think is good for 3rd highest point total on the year. Coach rating, he was pretty good. He was 2nd in coach rating, 152 left on the bench. Breakdown, he was 3rd, 91.63 across the season. So a real good year for him as well. Also Coach Nunn up for Coach of the Year. Bit under the radar this one. He went 7-7. Didn't get the most wins, but he had the 2nd highest scoring team. He was first in coach rankings, 149 points left across the bench all season, not bad at all. And in breakdown, he was second, 92 and 62 across the year. Look, there may be questions. He didn't have a lot to choose from at times, and ultimately, how much was he actually paying close attention and, making plays and stuff? But hey, he's had a really good year. He deserves the nomination. Well done to all the nominees. As I said, we'll find out who wins on Saturday. GM of the Year, Pat is up for a nomination again. I wrote some really good stuff in the article that sadly, you can tell I'm pretty steamed about. Bloggers bullshit, basically. They had a really good draft class. Melvin Gordon, Jonathan Stewart are ones that spring to mind. Mike Evans, Tevin Coleman, really good ones. Golden Tate picked up along the way as well. Really strong draft. Did not have to add to the roster a lot through the year. Philip Rivers as well. Just a great year from him. Deserves that award, that nomination. Myself, I'm also up for it. I drafted Dave Johnson, handpicked him as my number 1 pick, and he's been damn the best player in fantasy this year, if not the one of the best. Doug Martin, Christine Michael had some very good weeks. Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr have combined to be a real top-notch quarterback for me. I also picked up Jordan Howard, who's been an absolutely great add to my team and managed to cobble together some names at receiver week to week. So I've had a pretty good year as well. Being a multi-award winning GM of the year, I've had a pretty good year too. Coach Stubbs, that was me. Coach Wells, to his credit, Nigel has had a very good team all year long. There were a lot of questions starting the year about his draft class where, seasons past, these guys were great, but the outlook surrounding them for this season was not rosy. That didn't come to fruition at all, really. They've had a great year. They drafted Freeman. They added Kenny Britt. Demaryius Thomas has been good. Theo Riddick was a great draft pick. AJ Green, Tyreek Hill was a great add. Jordan Reed, great tight end. So, really a good GM year by ADRZ. Who else have we got? GM of the year. Finally, Coach Bidette. Yeah, Coach Bidette just had an absolutely insane draft. It is really stunning. They are where they are. Matt Ryan added off the waiver. Spencer Ware drafted. That was a great late add. He's been a great option all season long. Ty Montgomery is a great add. Emmanuel Sanders has been pretty good. Odell Beckham, great pick. Ryan Matthews has been good at times. Julian Edelman, good add. Mark Ingram, good pick. Terrell Pryor, good add. Sammy Watkins, good add when healthy. Dak Prescott, also a good add. And this as well on my nomination. I had a lot of injuries. I drafted Eric Decker as well, which led to having to add loads of wide receivers and managing to keep that class stable. Sorry, back to Ollie. He's had to deal with injuries as well, and the problem that he's had, which is why he's not nominated for Coach of the Year, he just can't pick the team. The team is deep. The team is real deep. It's been deep all season long. But he's just been unable to pick it each week. But there's no questioning. As a GM, he's the front runner for this award right now. I think, quite frankly, it's a really good year. He left about 325 points on the bench, 400 more than anyone else. So deserves this nomination for GM of the Year. Well done to all the nominees. Next one, League Commissioners Award. So I should explain some going on what these awards are for as well. Coach of the Year is for basically picking teams. Just leading a team to good weeks, leading them to the wins. League GM of the Year is draft, waivers, and trades, of which we had none this year, so it was a bit tough to do the nominations for that. League Commissioners Award, it's about sportsmanship, contribution to the league, dedication and appreciation of the game of fantasy. So for that, we've got Coach Leach, his continued great work on the LOC Report. He returned as the co-host this year. You wouldn't know from watching the last month's worth of episodes, though. In his defense today, I just wanted to crack this out myself. He was not invited. He's had he proposed the idea of this live stream, which I really enjoy. It adds another element to the podcast. So we really appreciate Chris for that. He will be one of the first into the LOC Hall of Fame when it is made as a commentator. Coach Barnes as the E.Locker. He's had a really great year supporting me. I know his articles were few and far between, but to be honest, Tom makes my life so much easier. I already do all of this stuff. it's a lot out of my week onto a full-time job as well. Tom helps me out with any appeals that come in and any league rules, business and anything like that. He's helped me all the way from the AGM. Obviously, it helps me in the draft massively by tracking the clock and noting down the picks, and also supports me throughout the year as well. So really appreciate him. Definitely deserves a nomination for this. Coach Gardner, Ollie, obviously a new member of the league. It's tough to come to a league with 10 people you don't know in a game you've never played before, in a sport you might not know very well. But credit to him, he's jumped in with both feet. He's getting involved on the message boards, watching the podcasts. He had a great year of fantasy. He's really picked up the game in year one really well. We're all happy to have you, quite frankly. This league has been, throughout its history, it's been searching for that last member of the league, really. And I think we've finally got it. You definitely deserve a nomination for this award. Finally, Coach Miller as well. Now, initially I put him in because I think we've seen a change for this year. He's had a bad year. He hasn't been as chatty or mouthy on the message boards. That might be because of the bad year. It might be because he's been humbled a bit. We don't know. Certainly, the comments the other day about Pat losing certainly would not work towards that. But hey, you have been very sportsmanlike this year, Phil, shouting it out in a tough year. So well done to you as well. The comeback award. The comeback award is the award for the best comeback in season, or from previous seasons, or a combination of the two. So we've got Coach Allen up for that one. He has had a tough first 2 years in the league. He was the offensive coordinator of his first team, Jeff Seals. Didn't have a good year. Last year, had a really rough year. Lost. Was the loser of the LOC last year. From worst to first. Absolute great turnaround. He started 0-4 this season as well. Absolute great turnaround. Really deserves this award. Well done. Or the nomination. Coach Leach, much the similar position. The last 2 years have been a wash for him. He was 5-23 the last 2 years. So I know he was only 6 and 8 years here, but hey, this team was good. He had a lot of injuries to deal with. There was no doubt in my mind if he didn't suffer the injuries, they would have been better. So really deserves this nomination. Coach Nathwani, coming off a bitter playoff loss last year, the second year in a row. Starting off slowly as well. I think it was 1-4 to start this first 5 weeks. Turned it around to 8-6, made playoffs. Just an absolute great turnaround by him. Though it wasn't really a turnaround. His team was good. Just shook the monkey off his back, so to speak. But hey, he did well. Coach Sherwood as well. That they really struggled. They were 3-6 at one point, but I believe, and they had to win the last 5 games just to make playoffs on points forward, and they did it. So well done to Coach Sherwood. That's a great turnaround as well. All worthy nominees. Now I've just had a message in on the Facebook chat that Chris and Tom would like to announce their forfeit. And I will announce it live on the podcast when they message it in. So you've got breaking LOC news right here, right on my phone screen here. Don't know if you can see. There you go. So breaking news on the LOC report. Oh, here we go. So as members of the LOC Broadcasting Service, we're in your eyes and ears every week. Therefore, whoever wins will have to hype up the other team regardless of form and media each week. It's a pretty good forfeit, to be fair. Tom Starrett's going to get a hell of a lot more press next year, and certainly when Tom remembers to write his articles, Chris will get some very favourable big ups as well in that, I imagine. So there you go. We've had another forfeit come in. Breaking news, and that's why we live stream, people. We had the comeback award, yep. So we did those overachiever awards. So this is for a team that exceeds expectation, did better than they should, basically, either because they didn't consider a lot of points, or the team wasn't that good at the start of the season and they've done really well, anything like that. So Coach Wells Nigel is up for ADRZ because he was the second lowest conceder of points. Only went 8-6. So he overachieved really. If you conceded more points, Probably wouldn't have done that well, but to his credit, his team had a lot of good weeks. He won games when he had to score the points. So well done to Nige for that. Coach Gardner absolutely deserves this nomination. As I said, it's tough to come in as a rookie in this league nowadays. We're all so experienced, but he did, and he went 8-6 and fell just short of a playoff berth. That's an absolutely great achievement for him. Coach Subsenia had a really good first 2 weeks, as we all know, but then suffered just a raft of injuries that really crippled his team. But they slowly worked their way back and nearly made the playoffs. Went 8-6 despite all of that. So worthy of a nomination there. And Coach Merritt as well. You might be a bit perplexed as to why Phil was nominated going 5-9 with a really bad team. But it could have been a lot worse. That draft was awful. They were scraping the barrel of the waves every week just to get anything going, and they did. They did really well to get to 5-9. They conceded a lot of points as well. If they conceded the same amount of points as some other teams, they probably would have won more games. They conceded a lot of points, so Phil did really well, as he always does, to cobble together a team and get some points. It's a good job there. And one last award here, the LOC Award. The LOC Award is for the team that had Lady Luck on their side through the season. They wouldn't have got to where they were without some luck, it's fair to say. Angel looking over their shoulder and all that. So we've got Coach Wells again, as I said, didn't concede a lot of points, won the games, close ones, eked them out. Quite lucky to be 8-6. There is no fear factor. I don't care what you say. No, you're just lucky. 2 years in a row, really. You haven't conceded a lot of points now. Coach Sherwood is up for the same award for the same. For the same reasons. He conceded the least overall, 1,245. Much the similar story, but he did lose some tough ones, which I don't remember ADRZ losing. Coach Nunn. First 4 weeks of the season, I think he won a game or two over that span without Brady. Somewhat fortunate too. Was starting Nick Foles at one point as well. The roster wasn't great, but this team had some really good weeks. They got to 7-7, so a bit lucky at times. And finally, I think, who was my last nominee? Coach Stubb Senior. Yeah, my dad. Much the same boat. Didn't concede a lot of points. Had a lot of bad luck, but had some luck along the way to win the games that he did. Yes, that was the luck award. Technical issues on the LOC report. So those are all your award nominees. So we'll find out the winner of that on Sunday. It was kind of tough to pick some of them this year. I mean, the league was so close, as we always said. 5-9 was the lowest record, and 9-5 was the top. Really tight in the middle. That is it. We'll catch you up with some milestones. So Pat obviously lost his first playoff game of all time. Viv is now 1-4 in the playoffs. He's well on his way to unfortunately becoming the new Phil. ADLZ, they're a good playoff team now. They're at 3-1. And aaaaand, they're 2-3 in the playoffs now. Are there any milestones still locked for you hit? No, nothing. So that is it. This could be the final episode of the LOC Report all season. I don't know. Might be back next week. If not, best of luck this weekend to all the playoff and forfeit playoff teams. The Corona Bowl is going to be a great one. As I said, at mine on Saturday we have an event for the Corona Bowl, so I hope you can come to that. And best of luck. We'll see you next week, if not next year. Goodbye.